Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to present today. My name is Mark Peterman. I'm the president and co-founder at OndaVia. At OndaVia, our mission is to make laboratory-grade on-site water testing fast and easy. Now, you might say, why do we need to do fast on-site testing? Well, unfortunately, we're inundated with examples in the media, in the press, almost daily, of examples of chemical spills or industrial accidents, where having some type of on-site testing could be a great benefit. But for OndaVia, our mission is actually, we're focused on industrial process control. These are time-critical applications where there's a financial incentive to get data quickly. We were working with an oil refinery that was actually discovered in their wastewater stream. They were disposing of $11,000 per day of a chemical that was due to overtreatment and leakage that was just being sent through their wastewater treatment plant. And only because we could test quickly and test on site, we were able to identify that problem. OndaVia's been in business for 6 years, 7 employees. We've been primarily funded through the SBIR program, $2.8 million per date, so thank you to the US taxpayers, and $1 million of private investment. We've used that capital to go from theoretical concept through commercial sales. Our business model is razor blade. We have single-use consumable cartridges that are analyte specific. These cartridges couple with an analytical instrument that reads all of our cartridges. So one instrument reads all the different tests we can do. We have negotiated sales development agreements with, across multiple market segments with multiple large companies. Some of the largest companies in the world actually have identified us as a key supplier for testing applications. Market size for analytical testing is massive, about $160 billion annually in the US. We have identified $46 billion of that we can address with our technology. Interesting note, about 43% of the revenue in outsourced laboratory testing goes towards labor. So anything that can take a 4-hour test and knock it down to 5 minutes offers tremendous potential. Our technology is very broad. We're looking at applications from agriculture all the way through oil refining. And we have our go-to-market strategy is initially direct, working with key customers in these market segments with single analyte test cartridges. Over time, we'll build multiple test cartridges to be able to measure many things at once and transition into a rep network sales strategy. In fact, we've begun that transition now. Long-term vision, we see ourselves as a acquisition target, either for customers who are broadly deployed across many different market segments, or for companies that build the analytical instruments that may find our technology disruptive. And I'll wrap up with, we are planning a Series A in the near future here, partially for manufacturing and sales, but also for new and next product development. The more cartridges that we have, the more things we can measure, the more valuable the whole system becomes, and therefore drives additional sales. And with that, happy to take any questions.
Do you tell people what's in the water or just whether there's something in the water? Like you're differentiating the species? And then if so, do you have contaminant or interference issues as well, where you can confuse one species for another?
We're measuring, folks are looking for something specific, and we're providing a specific test. So if they're looking for a specific amine in a refinery wastewater, we'll measure that amine and can avoid, we've dealt with interferences. We've got ways of being very specific for certain analytes. Okay.
Mark, have you considered something like a strategic alliance with Hach? When I used to test water, Hach was sort of the gold standard.
Hach is the 800-pound gorilla in this space. A lot of the things we do are lower-level detection, moving away from colorimetry, doing real true laboratory-style measurements. We have worked with Hach a bit. We know the folks there quite well through numerous avenues. So it's on the list of opportunities.
And what about disposal of the cartridges once they're used?
Well, the advantage here is that a typical test is a few microliters. So the amount of contaminant you'd have in 5 microliters of sample is so tiny that the cartridges can just be thrown out.
Can you talk a little bit about the competition and specifically how you compare in terms of your cost?
Yeah, so we target our costs compared to be cheaper than laboratory testing. When you look at the total cost of taking a sample, shipping it to a lab, waiting 4 weeks, and getting the result back, plus the cost that the lab charges is pretty significant. We really see the competition being the lab. We're focused on replacing laboratory type testing. So things like Hach, where you can do a $3 colorimetry test, is not what we want to address initially. We really want to focus on trace level analysis. That's very difficult to do in the field right now.
And so there's no other competition in terms of the on-site in the field?
There are folks who are working on things, and I think we'll hear from some coming up in the near future. In addition, there are folks who've taken laboratory-style instruments and roll them out in the field or in a truck and other things. So there are ways of doing it in the field. We're just trying to make it smaller, faster, and better.
So that's how you differentiate yourself from maybe other folks that might be presenting today?
Different analytes is a thing. We can really do organics, things that really require usually a gas chromatography, ion chromatography, high-end analytical equipment. We can replace those types of instruments.
Can you work with hostile streams that are really hot and corrosive or really cold, that kind of thing? Or do you have
Yes,
a-
I mean, right now it's a sample and test approach. So as long as you can collect a sample, then yes, we can measure it. If it's too cold, you end up with ice. It's usually in aqueous samples is the majority of what we're dealing with, so it kind of limits the temperature range, but it doesn't really affect the measurement so much as the ability to collect it and the user to handle it.
Okay.
Can anyone use it, or do you have to have trained staff to basically use it?
That's the goal, is to really make it to reduce the training. We're really moving it down to the lab technician level and not the PhD that needs to operate the system. So we've made it as simple as possible. We continue to improve it. Real user feedback there is key. But that's the goal.
Thank you.
Well done, Mark. Thank you.